Hello, Mr. Tannen here, just making a quick video about number 10 from the practice test. This was pretty tricky because this sequence, it was neither recursive it was neither arithmetic nor geometric, because you notice it doesn't have a constant difference. It goes -2, -3, -4, -5. And it doesn't have a constant ratio or a common ratio either. So common difference, common ratio, I guess I should say. So you actually had to think a little bit outside the box. And sometimes recursive rules are actually nicer for these, but they can still be tough to find often. So I'm going to switch to green here, maybe light blue. Nah, let's do the green. So what we have to think about here, is there a way that we can present this in terms of the previous term? That's what a recursive rule is, where if we have, for instance, we know A1 is 2, A2 is 0, So if you look at this here, if we actually think about A2, it's going to be A1 minus 2, right? For instance, A2, which is 0, is just A1 minus 2. And if you look here, 2 is the first term, but it also is the number of this sequence. So it could be n, or it could be a of n minus 1. Well, let's keep it going. So the thing is, since it's the second term, we subtracted 2. The third term, we subtracted 3. Fourth term, we subtracted 4. Fifth term, we subtracted 5. So since n is the number of the term, I think that we could come up with a rule to find that recursively, any term is just going to be, you take the previous term, which is what we always do in a recursive rule. Like for 2, we took the first term. And then we're going to take away the number of whatever that term is. Because that's going to allow us to then have the second term, we're taking 2 away from the previous term. The third term, we're taking 3 away. Fourth term, we're taking 4 away. So this was quite tricky, but I think we found a rule that'll work for everything. So maybe we could try now to figure out what the, let me erase all these marks. They're just coming from my fingers, I think. What this ninth term would be. And I think it's often helpful for us to make a little bit of a chart. So I have an here, and I have the nth term, an. So we already know the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth terms from what was given to us. 2, 0, -3, -7, -12. So the sixth term, if I use my rule, well, I subtracted 5 on the fifth term, right? So now I'm going to have to subtract 6 from the previous one. So that'll give me -18. The seventh term, I'm going to have to subtract 7 from the previous term, -25. The eighth term, I'm going to have to subtract 8, so -33. And 9, I'm going to subtract 9 from that, it'd be -42. So, this is a 9, not an A. So, the ninth term, or A9, is equal to -42. So that was a tricky one, but hopefully this explanation helps you see how this worked out and made sense. Much love, everybody. Feel free to comment or send me a message if you have any questions. All the best.